From Camino, this is the Rebel Scum Podcast. The tale of two galactic scoundrels talking into microphones about Star Wars. On today's show, an all-new Tell That to Conja Club. The rebellion starts. The importance of Leia's ship. Let's talk the Whills. Plus, Never Tell Me the Odds, HOLO news, books, and comics. An all-new top 5 now from the rainy regions of Camino. So basically anywhere in Camino. Here are Brock, James, and Andrew. The words last and final are synonyms and mean the same thing.
I like cinnamon.
You like some? Hi everyone, I'm James. This is
Brock.
And this is
Andrew Fantasia.
And this is the Rebel Scum Podcast, episode number 32. And that intro was in reference to a tweet by writer-director Rian Johnson, who a fan, either of his or of Star Wars, or of both, perhaps, tweeted at him saying, "It is my birthday. What does The Last Jedi mean?" And Rian Johnson's response was, "It means the final Jedi. Happy birthday." That's what he wrote. And then the internet, of course, did what it does best and
took it very calmly and diplomatically.
Exactly. And then there's no story.
When are fanboys going to learn that nobody's going to tell them what they want to know?
Well, I think he was just kind of having fun, yeah, probably. But it was funny though that the internet took this, and now that there's a whole final must mean that there are 3 Jedi because there are 3 letters in Finn, or I don't know. And they're all taken in this way. And then so Rian Johnson had to tweet again saying exactly what I just said. He goes, the words final and last are synonyms, and they mean the same thing. So I thought that was kind of funny. And so
it was good.
Well, it's a good play on Rian Johnson's part.
Oh, yeah.
He's having a lot of fun.
Oh, man. You gotta love it when these people will tweet back at you. Because didn't you say Pablo Hidalgo tweeted back at you at one point?
Yeah, we mentioned it last week and a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
the Ewok question.
That's so sweet.
Right. Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah, well, you know what? In fairness to everybody, though, how long does it take to tweet? You know when someone tweets you. I mean, I'm sure they get hundreds upon hundreds of tweets a second, so it's hard to figure out which one to reply to. But sometimes you see one, and he said it was his birthday, and he was like, you know what?
Yeah.
We can't lose a viewer of The Last Jedi. If one person doesn't want to go see that movie.
God knows they need the numbers.
They need the money, actually. Disney is in trouble.
I got super psyched when Joelle, the internet girl, liked one of my pictures that was Star Wars related.
Yeah, I remember
She's
that.
like the girl with alopecia that's super into Star Wars. I think she's more on Instagram, if anything. But she likes Star Wars quite a bit. She just put out a song that all the money's going to a charity. It's not really Star Wars related, and this is totally side Akbar, but I got super psyched about that. And I'm like, yeah, she just liked my picture. That was it.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
Well, as we said, this is episode number 32. If you guys have... so anyway, later on in the show, we're going to do books and comics and top 5s and all that fun stuff. If you have any suggestions you'd like, ship them our way. And we really appreciated the last couple of weeks. You guys have been really vocal and letting us know what you want to hear, and we are working on it, and we will get some to you as we go on. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. And this week on Unleashed, we have Finn's force sensitivity and whether or not Obi-Wan is a killer. That's actually what I talked to Fatty Fan Theories about. It's something else. That goes up on Fridays. So anyway, today's top 5 was brought to you by this guy. Me. And it's not fun.
It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to hear what
I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Anyway, we'll get into that as the show goes on. But before we go any further, I want to bring up something that we all got in the mail today, and that's our Star Wars our Star Wars Celebration tickets. Well, no, Brockton again.
I got typhus in the mail today.
Star Wars Celebration tickets were... Hold on, I'm trying to fix my... Were shipped out, great. But also they announced...
Yeah.
They had a huge announcement. I think it's a huge announcement that Hera will be there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you didn't get the email?
I did not. Oh, well, I might have just skimmed over it and been like, "This is not my ticket."
You can't skim over it. It's got pictures on it of Billy D. Williams, Alan Tudyk,
together in a hot tub.
Well, they're in a hot tub, but not together.
Machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're in a hot tub time machine. Anyway, Brock, Star Wars Celebration. Are you going?
I am. This is the shirt I'm gonna wear. It's looks Hawaiian themed, but if you look closer, Can we zoom in? No, we don't have it. There's Boba Fett all over the place. I expect 5 other people to be wearing this shirt at the convention.
Yeah, we're hoping. My shirt looks plaid, but it's actually an extreme close-up of Max Rebo's left shoulder. So there's that.
It's the pixelated version of his ear.
It is.
As Star Wars Celebration is starting to take form, they also announced Dave Filoni will be there talking some Rebels.
Oh, that's exciting.
Which I am really excited for.
Which got renewed for 4th season.
Season 4, which I don't think was any surprise. I think we're all expecting it. What we aren't expecting is the news of the new animated series that I'm sure will be hinted at Celebration, or if not, at least mentioned. Because, they're gearing up to end Rebels at some point.
It's going to be called Sindel, and this is how we'll get Teak back. # bring back Teak.
That got some love last week.
Yeah, that was cool. Thank you very much. # bring back Teak.
Let me ask you guys a Celebration question. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of things down there we're going to want to buy, right?
Yeah.
We're going to look at stuff. We're going to be like, I want that in my home. Would you buy it if they made Dave Filoni trademarked cowboy hats?
Yeah, I have 2 cowboy hats already.
I think I want one.
That's interesting. I thought you were going to say action figure or something, and he has a cowboy hat.
That's a yes. But my very own Filoni hat, I want that.
Filoni.
I'm just going to wear my cowboy hat, and I'm going to be in Dave Filoni cosplay the entire weekend. That's my...
Try to pretend you're him and go around the convention answering questions.
I don't... My facial hair is not as dark. I could definitely pull off a cowboy hat, though. And I'm blind, so people would figure that one out as well. But that's a lot of fun. I can't wait for Star Wars Celebration. That is a month away, pretty much exactly 1 month away to go. We are all ready to go. We're gearing up. We will be doing podcasts from there. We will have some Scavenger Scum from there. We'll have a Vote of No Confidence from there and an Unleashed from there. Everything we do will be done from Orlando. Also, Thrawn comes out April 11th. I will be reading it on the plane. Andrew, you better be reading it on the plane because we are going to do a review from Orlando of Thrawn.
And you'll be kaboing it on the plane, right?
I'll be kaboing it on the plane.
I'll race you as I flip through actual paper.
Well, I'll already be done. So Brock, if you read Thrawn, you can review it as well. But you like your reaction. If it's a comic, you'll be all over it.
I was thinking about this when I was driving home after I texted you. I don't have comics for this week. I was like, I should do a joke where there's a book. I'm like, I want to read this, and then I never read it. But like every week, you're like, Brock, have you started reading? And I was like, no,
not yet.
Have you still not read this book? Yes, cool. And then we move on.
If we were on the same plane, I would read it to you, and I'll do all the voices.
Interesting. Anyway, for that, we will be doing the Thrawn review from Orlando.
Yay!
Somewhere in Orlando, we don't know where. Maybe a park. Yeah, not a theme park.
Because we're going a couple days early, we should scout out cool locations.
We should. I heard Disney World's pretty cool. And they let you shoot
got a good rep there.
Yeah, and I heard they let you shoot things. They did do that weird horror movie in Disney. Remember, somebody shot a horror movie there.
Really? Oh yeah,
a few years ago.
Vaguely.
And they no one knew they did it, and they just kind of like shot stuff. It's pretty cool. I can't. What was it called? Like The Most Wonderful Place on Earth, or it was called something. You should check it out. I've never seen it. It's in black and white, and it's highly illegal. Okay, let's move on to the show. Did everyone have a chance to see Rebels this week?
Oh yes.
Is that a no? It was really cool to see Mon Mothma, but the coolest part was, spoiler for those of you that have not seen Rebels and want to, give you a second. It was awesome that we got to see the Rebel Alliance form.
Yeah.
That
was awesome.
Yeah, it was something that obviously the show started called Rebels, but they're like, there's just pockets of Rebels.
Yeah.
And now Mon Mothma has come and stepped out of the shadows and put together this team. And it was cool. All those ships at the end are pretty much the ships we see in Rogue One, no?
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing that makes me happier than seeing ships drop out of hyperspace. You know, I'm not married, but I'm sure one day I will find true love. I may have children, but the happiest moment of my life is whenever ships jump out of hyperspace. It's just so spectacular. I love it.
I loved when the Star Destroyers came out of hyperspace and they cut them off when they were coming out of the what was that gas planet thing?
Oh,
Nebula. That was awesome. I love that. And they were trapped.
Yeah,
but they weren't trapped.
It was so rad too. Like I love that they put Ezra in the Y-wing.
Yeah, and Gold Leader.
And Gold Leader, yeah.
Gold Leader was awesome.
Yes. I'm like, is this how he actually sounds? I can't remember, but you know,
it doesn't matter. It's Rogue.
But it was so good, and you know, that's I hope a lot of more. I was thinking about this, and we've said this before. Like, Rebels is a great show, but Rebels does this thing where they're like, it's gonna be like this, and then nothing. Like Thrawn, Thrawn's only been in maybe 6, 7 episodes.
Yeah, well, they have that Fulcrum storyline,
which is great. Well, I would argue that this season should have been about Fulcrum. It should have been about the Mandalorians.
But the problem is, it's a 22, 24 episode season. And telling stories. That's why Netflix and HBO and stuff do things a lot better, because they're 13 episode shows, right?
Right.
The Walking Dead, its first season was 6 episodes, and that was perfect.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, the last 2 episodes were so satisfying. Like, the Fulcrum one. And then, the one with Sabine leaving. That was the one prior to that. Was that a 2-parter, the Mandalorian thing?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. Like, it was the black saber thingy. I'm so good at everything. But the last 2, the Fulcrum episode and then the one just this week, like, those are so satisfying. So it's like, why can't they? No, all the other episodes are great, but like, we don't need a Zeb and Chopper centric episode. They're great. I love those characters. But
next week's episode is Secret Agent Droid or something like that.
Of course it is.
So it's like they love going back to Chopper.
And then you know what they do? They think, okay, we're gonna. They put. I'm not critiquing the writers or Dave Filoni of the show, but like, it's like, what did we get? When did we get the last like teaser trailer where we saw Obi-Wan? When was that? Like Christmas time?
Yeah, they did that last year too with the.
Oh yeah, and the
Master.
Darth Maul, and like even at the beginning, like it's just like, oh my god, they like think of like, we'll do this, and then they're like, the rest just do whatever you like.
Yeah, the thing is with this season is like exactly what you said. There's the Mandalore storyline, the Fulcrum storyline, but then there's also this Darth Maul storyline, which really they didn't even get into.
And Thrawn, like I said, has like not really been played out.
No, so do you guys think Thrawn's gonna end this season?
Like he'll be finished by the end of season 3?
I mean, it's just like
I don't feel like he has a plan yet. You know what I mean? Besides being weirdly.
But how long do you let? How long do you let Thrawn? How long do you let Thrawn go for?
I would argue you keep him in there as much
without
as
ruining Thrawn's brains.
I mean, the question: do you bring Vader back? If you bring Vader back, then why would you need Thrawn?
I would not bring Vader back.
Exactly. So keep Thrawn to the very end.
Yeah, because like once you have A New Hope. Right after A New Hope is the Star Wars comic and the Vader comic in terms of timeline. And there's no mention of Thrawn. There's no presence of Thrawn. No. So I feel like he should be around for those important moments. So I think, Rebels is going to end him. Yeah, that's the thing. Do you think Rebels should be the thing to end him? Now, he is a book character to begin with.
True.
So, I mean, cartoon book. But, he's not mentioning any of that stuff. But maybe that... See, this is where the whole canon thing becomes a problem, because now they're like, whoa, we should have Thrawn in Rebels. Yes, put Thrawn in Rebels. But he's not mentioned here. So now he can't go on. And if he is, he has to. Maybe he's on the unknown regions of the galaxy.
As long as he gets a better death than he did in the Timothy Zahn books.
Yeah, you and your love for that.
Easter egg for that episode, for the Fulcrum episode, his password to stop those battle droids was Ruck, who is actually the character from the expanded universe that kills him. And then you see his... Or do they call his ship? The name of his ship in the book was the same as that episode. I should have written this down. It was like Chimera or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you could see concept art from what's the guy's name? Macquarie, which is what they based on. Is the planet that they're always just trying to escape from? Not Jakku, but in the show. Lothal, thank you. That was his actual artwork was in the background, and it's like, nice. That's Lothal, but like originally it wasn't, right? Anyways,
were you guys a little
that's cool. Well, we got Easter eggs coming up in the news. That
So
were you guys a little bit disappointed that we didn't we saw Dantooine from afar in the last Rebels, but we got to see Dantooine?
No. At first I was excited to see Dantooine, but now keep it. No, I like it from afar.
It's really pretty though. And I feel it probably gets really pretty. There's wheat everywhere and the fields.
Do you guys think we'll ever see a course like Coruscant again?
I hope so, man.
Oh, they got to. It's
so nice.
Do they have to? Not in a Battlefront or a video game. I mean, in a movie or something.
I mean, we see a fair amount in Clone Wars, which now is officially off Netflix. I believe
No,
it was off
no, it's
yesterday.
apparently got renewed, so it's still on Netflix.
What?
Yeah, I was on earlier today, and it was still there.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what I heard about that. So
Yeah,
I don't really know
well-
what's going on, but it's still there. So check out Clone Wars because you never know when it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You have no idea. It might be
Question
gone
to
tomorrow.
you, Andrew. Do you think that we will ever have a streaming channel specifically for Star Wars?
I think we do. It's called Disney XD. Eventually, maybe in, let's say, between 8 and 10 years. Yes.
Yeah. I just don't I don't know. I don't totally understand the relationship between Disney and Netflix because it's like there's an obvious. I mean, it wouldn't. The way it would work, I think, it wouldn't be just Star Wars. It would be Star Wars and Disney and Marvel, all that stuff together. But
That's
like,
true.
they have enough stuff that they could fill a whole thing. I don't know.
Absolutely. Like, take every Marvel cartoon, throw in Rebels and Clone Wars, and then like show Marvel movies and Star Wars movies, and yeah,
But you're right. We do have Disney XD, so it's like
I think
it
the
all
world-
could just live there.
The world's going in the
Yeah.
direction of apps, so I mean, eventually I think you'll see a Star Wars. You have your Disney, and you have your Star Wars, your Marvel, your Mickey Mouse Club. And
But
stuff.
why compete with Netflix? Like, have your own little thingy, but like, don't try to fight Netflix on something.
But if
No.
they do that, if they make their own Disney streaming thing,
Yeah,
you got to bring back Tron
yeah,
and Tron
sure.
Uprising, the cartoon. That cartoon.
Oh,
was
yeah.
fantastic.
Apparently, they're making a third Tron.
They better.
Okay,
You have money, Disney. Don't pretend like it's too expensive. No, you have money now.
this is
The top 5 movies of 2016 were all you, honey. You have money. Make Tron 3.
we're top
and that's
5
another
all Disney?
episode of Talkin' Tron.
All 5 were Disney.
All top 5 were Disney. It was Rogue One, Finding Dory,
Oh yeah, no, we did
Cap
that.
America.
Yeah.
Cap
But what were the
America.
other 2? Jungle Book.
Jungle Book.
That wasn't
and
top 5,
Zootopia,
was it?
I think.
Jungle Book top.
No,
Zootopia were-
Zootopia. Is that what you said?
Those were
I
top
said
5?
Toy Story, and I'm like,
Those
that
were the
didn't come out.
those were in top 5.
Those were the top 5
Yeah.
box office 2016.
Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
First time in history that's happened.
That's
So
crazy.
you have the funds to make Tron 3.
Yeah, their top 3 were companies they bought. You
That's
have the
crazy.
funds. This is for Andrew. Tron. Tron just comes to your house and talks
I
to you.
demand
Is
closure.
Tron a character? Is Tron the main character? I've never actually watched any of those things.
Okay, let's go back to Rebels now.
Back to
So
Star
Rebels is going-
Wars.
so in Rebels, we've met the Bendu, and they're very much pushing the Gray Order. I won't say Gray Jedi.
Yeah.
I won't say Gray Order. I don't want to get yelled at. But we know they're going in this. Like the Empire's End book mentions it. They go out of their way to say the light, the dark, the gray, which is a combination of light and dark. Do you think? And we saw something like this in Clone Wars, but do you think anything with the Whills could show up in Rebels?
Yes. It's close enough to Rogue One, and in Rogue One there were a lot of people running around who seemed to know what the Whills were. Like, it wasn't a huge, like, mystifying thing. It was like, yeah, I know. I've heard of the Whills.
Right.
So
Well, it wasn't a mystified thing on Jedha where they were.
true, but Cassian seemed to know what they were all about, and he's not.
That's
He's not
true,
from
yeah.
there. He was just kind of, oh yeah, that's a Guardian of the Whills. Ignore him. So, I mean, ignore him. Although-
When did the Whills originate? Did it originate in Clone Wars?
It-
Not like in the actual universe, just like the idea of it.
that was like the first, if I remember right, it was Lucas's first draft like ever in like 74 or something, where
Yeah.
the full title was something
Right.
redonkulous like
Oh
the
yeah,
Journal
okay,
of the
yeah,
Whills.
That's
chapter
Oh, we
1.
should get those comics out. I might have those handy. Maybe next week.
Next week comic.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
that's what it
of
was.
Luke Stark Killer or something.
And then it was only like 130 years after what we watched. It's actually R2D2
right.
reading the wills to people or something.
Right.
He's
right,
relaying the wills to us.
And back then the Jedi were called Jedi-Bendu or something.
yeah,
like
something
that.
like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wonder what that script
we're
was like.
experts.
Release that as like a transcript.
Well,
George.
Brock and I are working on getting. I should not spoil this so much, but we're working on getting a
Birthday cake.
What? Kind
Happy
of,
birthday.
What kind of tape are we looking at? It's not a beta cam. It's
It was like,
anyway. It's a
High 8 or
it is-
something.
No, it's way predates that. It's like this big.
It's high 7.
It's about that big.
I see.
And it's a tape. We don't know where to play it yet, but it has Star Wars written in handwriting, and it was one of the first cuts ever of Star Wars.
Star Wars by Georgie Lucas.
Yeah, I think it actually says George Lucas on it, and nobody knows whose handwriting it is. Some people think it is George Lucas, but we're getting our hands on that. We promise you that is not a lie. We're working towards. Look at this shock.
How?
Yeah, it's a long story. We will get that. We will probably do a documentary on it.
Yeah.
So
This will be the opening of it.
well, this is where we first mentioned it.
What if you put in that tape, you press play, and it's a bootleg of Tron 3?
God. Okay, moving on. So a lot of
Side Akbar? I'd be interested in that. Like, how would you get this on this format? Anyways, go by.
from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Brock, Whills, Rebels. What do you think?
The Whills?
On Rebels.
On Rebels. Sorry. The Whills being on Rebels?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I am the one that knows the least about it. I feel like, yes, that's probably what we just, your answer to my first question. Yeah, that's the first time we see it. But the modern version of Whills, so
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. That was the Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon Ginn.
Qui-Gon,
that's they were the Force priests as well, right? So but the reason why I'm going with Rebels here is because they mention them in Rogue One.
Yeah.
And okay, and in Rogue, exactly what you said, people just kind of acknowledge them, which means the average moviegoer just kind of acknowledges it, like, oh, Guardian of the Galaxy. They have no idea what it even means, but they just kind of figure it has to do with something.
It's like us hardcores with Knights of Ren. Now we're like, okay, I don't know what that means, but that's something.
Yeah.
Knights of Ren.
Whereas the average moviegoer is like, I doesn't even know that's a word.
Yeah.
But so what I'm thinking though is so now you've established them there. They're on Clone Wars, but now you're moving forward. Now you want to give them your little touch. Rebels, Rebels is it seems like a logical place to me to put something like that in because it's animated and you can go exactly what you said with Clone Wars, where you're like, every time those episodes came, I kind of was like, but also maybe it's a little too much for a show like Rebels.
And you very easily could just go to Jeddah, and then you run into Maz and oh my god, I'm on like 4 hours of sleep. What is who is Donnie Yen's character? Chirrut. Thank you. You could easily, I mean, and though we do know that YA novel's coming out, so maybe we'll get a little bit, a watered down.
I wish we got an adult novel of the Guardians of the Whills.
An old adult.
I would love to read a book about them. Yeah. I would like more Rogue One characters. I really enjoyed Rogue One. I cannot wait. It comes out in a few weeks.
I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, we do get a sense of there's going to be some kind of new galactic religion of some sort, so maybe they can who is Lars Santeca?
Well, in Empire's End they flat out say Church of the Force.
That's right. Crazy.
I don't know if it was mentioned before that or anything, but I know I read it and people were saying it, but now it's actually Church of the Force is actually written in Empire's End, the novel.
I'm trying to remember if the Force Awakens visual dictionary mentioned it when they mentioned lore. But I don't.
They might. Well, people knew that he was part of the Church of the Force. So I mean, how did they know that? It had to be written somewhere. You would think.
Yeah, I guess it was there.
Yeah, I haven't read that one, but maybe I should get my hands on it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm all for it. It sounds awesome. I mean, look at the characters we know that are involved with it. They're awesome, so can't hurt.
I feel like they're just such the Whills is such a cool idea that they have available to them, and now they've brought them into canon. I know Clone Wars. They made Clone Wars canon, but it's. It's soft canon, let's say. You put it in Rogue One into a film, it's canon. Like, this is like, your mom is now, oh, by the way, they make it so that people will know what the Whills are. You go out of your way to say the Whills, you have to have an agenda for the Whills. Does that make sense? You don't have to, but it's. I mean, you put it out there. Once Kyber crystals, you put it out there. Now,
yeah, exactly.
Now you can put Kyber crystals in any Star Wars movie, and people are like, well, that's that thing from Rogue One.
Yeah.
That's it. Once, when it's in a cartoon, no one will care. But a cartoon like Rebels is a great place to flesh the ideas out.
Yeah, exactly.
For us that do this.
I can agree with that.
Right? That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Just a fun thought.
Now, if there's a Church of the Force, does that mean there's a Pope of the Force? Is there a Force Pope?
In that one interlude in Empire's End, though, there is you do get the feeling that there is a hierarchy. But there's multiple denominations of the Church of the Force, I believe.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the acolytes? Interlude?
No, the one where they have the crystals and they have to return it.
Yeah.
And it's the
dark side.
Those weren't dark side.
Weren't they followers of the dark? Like, because they with Tashu.
No, this is the other one, the interlude, where they all have kyber crystals and they have to return them to their place.
Yeah, bring it back to that temple.
And
But wasn't Tashu giving them like dark side relics or something?
Oh my god!
Or am I thinking of another interlude? Was there two like that?
Maybe you're
The
right.
girl and he put the mask on her, and
God, I can't remember.
yeah,
I just remember
we
they
gotta
kept
double check our
Anyway, for spoiler alert if you haven't read it, but they each get picked off one by one and get killed.
Nice.
So there might be dark side, but anyway, you get the maybe it is. You might be right, but anyway, you get the idea though. Someone will let us know that there is.
Oh,
a
I'm
higher-
sure
Someone's letting us know
Master
right
Bender will tell us everything. Hey, man.
But thanks for
You
coming.
like
But
Ezra.
you know what? But and we encourage you. Let us know. You don't have to. You
Oh, for
can
sure.
be nice about it if you don't mind. But let us know anything you want to say, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about you, and we thank you for filling us in on gaps that we might not know because there is so much material out there. It's nearly impossible to absorb it all.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's a lot out there.
yeah.
You go to a bookstore, there's a new book like a day, and I'm like, where did this come from? I can't read this. But anyway, let's start. So anyway, speaking of one of our viewers, Winter Star brought a bunch of cool things to our attention.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get to them. There's a lot, and they're all very good. But one of them was Mirror Bright, Leia's ship,
Yeah.
and at first glance, nobody thinks anything of it. It's Leia's ship, whatever. Who cares? Then he said, "But is this the ship that Rey sees on Jakku?" Maybe, but and and at first I was like, that might be too obvious. But the thing that he brings up, his best point of it all though, is Bloodline, the novel, written by Claudia Gray,
Yeah.
with notes.
I
Should
read
say
that
help.
one, you guys.
There are notes from Ryan Johnson in that. He wrote the napkin scene, or he didn't write, but he suggested the napkin scene or whatever. And there's great detail given to the Mirror Bright ship, Leia's ship.
Right.
And he thinks perhaps Ryan Johnson had his hands in that
Interesting.
area there. And so could that be the same ship that Rey sees? And what is the point of giving us that great deal in detail in
I
Bloodline?
mean, the ship like when she's little, it's flying
I
away.
think that's
Come
right.
back. I always took it as that was some sort of transport ship, like a smaller transport ship that's going to a bigger ship. And I always envisioned Mirror Bright as more of a like deep space cruiser of some sort, which it is because it went from planet to planet. But it didn't look like in Force Awakens. That ship doesn't look very big. Of course, I wasn't really evaluating the ship. I was like, "Oh, cool, Knights of Ren." And that,
Why is she with Unkar Plot?
yeah, I didn't even realize that was his arm till like the 7th like viewing. I was like, "Oh,
Quiet girl.
yeah, like that's
a bad
awesome." Interesting though. I could get behind that. I definitely want to rewatch Force Awakens.
We can watch it with the commentary now. Where J.J. Abrams says, that's the Mirror Bright. He flat out says it right.
Mark Hamill is great.
What do you think, Fantasia?
I think it would have been interesting if Leia had that ship, if Leia had the Mirror Bright parked on Dakar and Rey had seen it when she was on Dakar, to have like, if it would have elicited a reaction from her, that would have been kind of neat. Obviously, they couldn't do that because of spoilers and such. But I guess anything's possible. I mean, we really did not get a good look at that ship, like you
No.
were saying. I mean, we were so distracted by everything else.
Yeah.
If it is, then we are. I mean, we never really saw Leia introduce herself to Rey, did we?
Yeah.
So
No.
something's kind of shady there. Leia's up to something.
And the last line, and the lines that are said to Rey on Jakku are, "I'll come back for you, sweetheart."
Yeah. Well, where do we know? Where is
the
that from?
novelization, I
That's the
believe.
novelization.
Isn't that strange that that's in there?
I hold my face like this so it looks like I'm listening.
You're sleeping,
intently.
actually.
I'll come back for you, sweetheart.
Right? Which sounds like Han Solo.
Sounds like Han Solo. Sounds like Sawyer from Lost.
It's Solo. No, it's.
He's her.
I don't think it's Han Solo at this point. And I know some people think it's Ezra Bridger. That's her father. I think her father is Unkar Plutt. And
One half pulse.
he says quiet girl because they just came back from a space adventure.
Ah.
And she's like, I want to go back on another adventure. She's like, quiet
Space
girl.
I will turn
Adventures.
this mirror bright around.
I think it's a cool idea, though. It's a great.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
It's something
like,
that we
that's
something that we should definitely look into more. I think the idea is there. Now, because of the sweetheart line, though, on top of everything that he said in the bloodline thing, that kind of maybe makes that connected more. And yeah, Daisy really said she thought it was obvious who her parents were based on the script, but I don't even know if that's exactly what she said. I feel like she was saying more like she always just thought it was obvious.
Yeah.
If her quote was, it's obvious who her parents are in the movie. How obvious is it that nobody's figured out? But how obvious is it that, like, the two obvious answers to me would be Luke or Han and Leia, right? Like, and I'm not saying I believe either of those. I'm just saying that if it is that obvious, no one else is obvious.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because the way Han keeps looking at her and Leia hugging her at the end, which is whatever. But then the way she's, Luke Skywalker thought he was a myth. Like, here's the thing. And we mentioned this on one of the scavenger scums. And when I first saw The Force Awakens, when she said that line, I thought either she was lying about what she was saying, like, or the acting wasn't very great.
Really?
Because the way she delivers, I thought he was a myth, is fake. She says it very fictitiously.
I found like she says it as if we're talking about, like, as if he had brought up Robin Hood. Like, she kind of like,
but she's
Luke
almost
Skywalker.
too whimsical about it. She's almost too much. So either the acting, she kind of missed the beat, she went too far on it, or it's hiding something.
Or she had like a Luke Skywalker comic book in that AT-AT, and because it was, you know, pictures of Mark Hamill from back in the day, it was very dreamy. So when Finn brought him up, she's like, Luke Skywalker.
Or it was just a line to progress the plot where it's like,
but it's
they know who these people are.
No, that's what I mean. But
of them.
And that would be the acting portion, which I think Daisy really was amazing in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that one line, the delivery of that one line, since I saw it the first time, has been very suspicious to me. It might not be. It might just be she's like, I didn't know how to say it, so I said it like that. That could have been it.
And when we find out, your spider sense could be right. You never know.
Well, nobody knows. That's what's so fun. That's what makes it fun about talking about it.
I think they just blatantly lied to us.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you know.
Well, that's been one of my problems with The Force Awakens is I feel like they just kind of lie to us and they're like, we're going to tell you.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you. My
know.
favorite line, though, is Maz Kanata's, I like that Wookiee.
God.
That's the best delivery. Like that and the nurse. You must be so brave. Those are the two best deliveries,
brave.
I think, of them. Actually, John Boyega has a lot of good... You know what? Everyone's great in the movie.
Droid, please.
I love John Boyega.
Let's just say lines.
Biohexpectacular. That new thing that I don't know if you guys saw that Instagram.
No.
It's on Watch Scavenger Scum. He says Anyway, he can't say it, so Ryan Johnson gave him a framed painting of him and with the line underneath, and he's like this. It's John Boyega. It's great. Watch that. It's on Scavenger Scum. You can check that out. Okay, let's move on to Brock's second favorite part of the show.
Never tell me.
Never tell me the odds. Brought to you in part by Rebel Scum Podcast.
Rebel Scum Podcast. When your podcast isn't Rebel Scum enough,
you bring in more scum. All right, so the first odd today are, Andrew, I'm going to go to you first on this one. The odds of Callus surviving Rebels.
-7%.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. I don't think I like your attitude.
He's doomed. Callus is doomed. Thrawn, okay. If you didn't see the Thrawn one 2 weeks ago, prepare for some spoilage, but Thrawn knows.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
100%. Yeah, he said, he full out said, I know who.
Do you think he knew before that episode?
Yeah.
Like, do you think he was 90% sure and he just needed that extra push?
I think so. Yeah, Thrawn is the kind of guy who would call those 5 people into the room. He would know who it is. He would, put the fear of God into them and then let them go.
Yeah.
And make them all think that he's not sure yet, just so the person does something stupid and he has the proof to condemn them. He's that kind of... Thrawn knows.
15% for me, Brock.
He's definitely, if someone has to be killed off, it's definitely going to be him.
And they kill a lot of people.
But in a awesome way, I think, like...
Him and Zeb go out together fighting back to back.
Yeah.
Don't you put words in my mouth. You know what I mean, though. Like, I think if season 4 is the last one, or if there's a 5th season, like, they're going to go out. Like, that's where I think Callus is going to go the whole way, because he's been there since episode 1. I feel like the character and the actor should be given full whatever.
Another way for their hands to be tied. If he was going to survive, would he not have been in Rogue One?
Exactly.
Oh, good point.
Oh, maybe he wouldn't have, but you would think he would be there. If
And then
everybody
there's the whole mention. I don't know if it's really accurate yet that Cassian is also goes by Fulcrum.
yes, he does. Yeah,
I think that
he did at one point, so it
yeah.
might be after.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think the Fulcrum storyline is very interesting. I think that they should really put a lot of work into Callus so we learn more and more about Fulcrum, and then it could be something that we just constantly come across in different movies.
And David Oyelowo is really great.
He is.
Yeah, oh yeah. Is that how you actually pronounce his name?
I don't know. I took a guess. I hope I got
yeah,
it close.
yeah.
But so we're all in agreement that Cassian Andor, Diego Luna will be on Rebels in the next year.
So my odds are Fulbrock, 50-50.
All right, the odds of Battle Droids appearing in a feature film again, I'm going to say 0.1%, Brock. I really want them to.
When I read this on the rundown, I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? They have all those things.
Yeah, but
they have the props and the blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, they are all CGI.
But they would
oh,
still
yeah.
have the renderings of
Yeah,
them.
that's true. Andrew, you go.
Roger.
Roger. Wait, that does not compute.
9%.
That's high. I like it. I like it.
It's optimistic.
Kathleen Kennedy, are you listening?
I'm envisioning it as somebody's looking through something old with a flashlight, and one of the things they pan across is a dusty head of a battle droid, which counts.
And the Ark of the Covenant.
I hate you so much.
That's what I think they would do.
That, you know what? Rogue One would have been a great place for that to happen.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't. Brock?
I'm optimistic. I'm going to go 30%. Because, come on, just throw it in there. Come on. Come on.
If they were like, James, you get to make any Star Wars movie you want, I'm like, we're telling the story of Battle Droids. It's Battle Droids as owned by Watto, and they pod race.
Star Wars.
It's the best movie ever made. All right, our last one is, and we talked about this briefly with cartoon series, but the odds of the Whills being explored deeper in feature films. Brock?
10%. I don't know. I think it's too much to explain for the average viewer. I mean, I watch all these things and I almost take no interest in it. Not that I don't like the idea, just because, whatever. I remember watching that episode of Clone Wars. It made no effect on me. So it's like...
Mortis? Or the Force?
I don't know.
Ghost?
You know what? I think I really need to rewatch Clone Wars because I feel like at points I gotta watch all of this. You kind of go, you just sort of shut down.
Well, you still have time.
I do. Again, though, they're a cool idea. I just think it's just too much to explain. But you explain Jedi pretty quickly in A New Hope, so I don't know. Do you guys answer?
No. I'm going to go 15%.
Ooh.
I don't think the film's where you're going to do it. I think you're going to get a book or, like I said, Rebels is a good place to put it.
Yeah.
Somewhere off. But I think they're going to show up. I think it's some...
Oh, yeah.
I don't think in the Skywalker saga films, and episodic, the numerical ones. I think in a spinoff, you're going to get more and more of them. Because they're going to be like, there's no Jedi in this, but the Whills control everything.
Well, when the Jedis come to a crashing halt in Last Jedi, maybe they could have a part where someone's researching it and they're like, the Whills, here they are in a library.
The Jedi library.
They go to the community library on Coruscant.
Coruscant. Andrew?
What was your exact wording of this odd?
Well, it'll be
Odds of the Whills being explored deeper in films.
100%.
video films.
Andrew Fantasia, 100%. This is why he failed high school.
I'm gonna just mute your mic.
Why 100%? I need you to explain 100% to me.
I think it's going to be at least brought up in age.
Which counts to this question.
Luke could very easily say it to Rey.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go on.
But exploration-wise, deeper, Old Republic movies. And we know they're going to happen eventually. So yeah.
Ooh, Old Republic. I didn't even consider that. Interesting.
Yeah, I think...
But that won't be movies. That'll be like a
Could
TV
be.
show. It could be a movie.
I mean, because think about it. Somebody brought this up, and I can't remember your name off the top of my head. I'm so sorry.
My name's Brock.
Elvis.
But... Oh, who was
Is it Cheetos?
No, it wasn't Cheetos.
I love that name.
No, it was somebody else. I can't remember, but they were. I think
Was it Reggie Mantle?
No, I
I'm
can't.
just trying to remember names.
No, it was someone great. Someone with a lot of great points. I'm so
Brock
sorry, I got
Smink.
ran. But they
At BF Smink.
but they said that their idea was the trilogy ends at 9, and then the next one takes place 1,000 years before.
Ooh.
And then they can tell stories almost unlimited at that point, but you do another trilogy or whatever, and then I was like that, and I chimed in and said that's a great idea because then you can do that, and then when people get tired of that, you go back and you say, hey, here's Rey again, or whatever, and here, or unless you sacrifice yourself, but you go back to the characters that we all know.
Speaking of going 1,000 years in the future, what are the odds that Star Wars will be revealed at some point, like Battlestar Galactica, where it was Earth the whole time?
I heard a rumor that that's what it was supposed to be.
What, like originally?
Or like way back, George Lucas' plan was it was all going to end with a big bang and ended up being our galaxy.
Like, how do you measure far away? You live in Port Credit, and it takes 20 minutes to get there sometimes, depending on traffic, and that feels like far away.
I feel like it doesn't matter because it's fantasy.
Because those planets we found that are like, one of them is like Tatooine is in another galaxy, so we could be galaxy adjacent.
Ooh, I like that. Galaxy.
Right. 100% for Andrew.
Also, hashtag bring back Teak.
On that, we go to the HOLO news.
HOLO news.
News music.
Brock, what's our first story for the HOLO news?
I'm opening the email. Oh, wait. Do you have a graphic? Battlefront 2 is possibly going to be revealed at Celebration.
I'm so excited.
Battlefront 2. I can't wait to see all 4 seconds of the single-player campaign this time.
This was going to have a single player, and they say it's going to span different time periods, is the rumor. You're definitely going to get to be Kylo Ren, Rey, Finn, and Han Solo again.
Sweet.
But not General Leia Organa.
What if he gets to be a battle droid this time?
I will buy 2 copies of this game.
Yeah, that's a genius way to get those things back in there. Those things. Make them the skins that you can
It would
buy.
be awesome if you could be Mr. Bones.
Oh,
Yeah.
That would be
That's
awesome.
DLC
Well, like
for
as you
sure.
said,
That's DLC.
spanning time period, so
That's a
anything
rumor, so you
in
never know.
prequels.
Yeah.
It's stupid not to. Like, come on.
I know you have 60 years or whatever now
Come
to
on.
do
What
with
if,
us.
when they say spanning time periods, it's just like the 1980s? Like it's Han Solo wearing like a pink tie.
A
He's-
bolo
he's-
tie.
He's actually just he's Indiana Jones. Is that all, Brock? Was there anything else? To
Nah,
the story?
it might happen. It's just it's a good
Well,
idea. It's
they-
been hinted that
They're gonna be there on the Thursday. EA.
Yeah,
right?
they will. Yeah, so like,
Celebration.
yeah, it's probably gonna happen, and yeah, there was also a hinting at like it'll show new movies, which means nothing. It could just mean Force Awakens and Rogue One.
I'm still waiting for my Assassin's Creed-esque game that takes place in Mos Eisley. That's what I want.
That's coming. That might be, but that might be presented there as well. But do you think Battlefront 2 could have Rogue One? I think Rogue One's a given. I think you're going to do more with Rogue One. Then you have the Skywalker Saga stuff, right? So you're going to be on Jakku. You're going to be on Takodana. But could they also maybe be like, oh, by the way, one of the expansion packs you're going to get is Han Solo.
Oh,
Like
the
Home
movie
and
Han
with
Solo?
Han Solo.
Like the Solo.
The Solo was like some planet from the Solo movie. So you're like, guess what? You're you're really young Han Solo.
Yeah.
You could be really young Han
Welcome.
Solo and old Han Solo. You get to be both. You never, because we've already been the middle Han Solo.
Yeah,
so
I
now they're
like
like
that.
you're on both.
Welcome to the Kessel Run. Boom.
Oh, there's a
Bro,
level
do you
for
even run?
Brah.
Next.
Boom. J.J. Abrams hearts Mark Hamill. Recently, I don't know
hair
why.
is
Did he tweet? I can't remember. I did read these things, so I'm not going to read it off my phone because it's just easier.
Nobody can see. it.
J.J. Abrams. I know nobody can see me. We should always just argue and damn. So J.J. Abrams said recently that it would be a travesty if Mark Hamill does not win an Oscar for his performance in Episode 8, The Last Jedi, ... not really The Last Jedi.
Whoa, what?
Last is plural. in
He didn't say
languages.
final? He didn't say final Jedi.
He said the final countdown. Anyways, no, he says...
He said it in jest.
He said Mark Hamill is awesome and he deserves to win, blah, blah, blah. And I can get behind that. I mean, especially our generation knows that Mark Hamill is pretty multifaceted as an actor. He's not just Luke Skywalker. He's the Joker. But you know what I mean? Like, things he's been in. Even like when he was in The Flash.
Cockknocker.
Cockknocker. Like, he gets it. He gets, even though he's technically not our generation, he gets what we want. Mark Hamill, you're gonna get an Oscar. Yeah, right.
I think it'd be cool if he got nominated because wasn't Alec Guinness nominated for
I think
Star
he
Wars?
was.
I think he was.
Right.
You know,
That was the Bridge over River Kwai.
yes, but also you had Gandalf was nominated for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
These kind of roles do get nominations.
What's his nuts?
I don't know.
Keith Ledger.
Oh,
Keith Ledger.
Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Yeah, so they.
That's what I say when I can't remember people's names.
These things kind of happen. I don't think he was being serious when he said that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Next.
Jin's hidden message. What?
Jyn Erso. Has she got a Tamagotchi around her neck?
I'm sure everyone knows in Rogue One, Jyn Erso has a necklace which was given to her by her mother in the opening sequence. And we all, well, if you've read Catalyst, we know it's a kyber crystal. It's never really explained in the movie.
Yeah, they explain kyber crystals.
No, but that what she has is in fact a kyber crystal.
No, but I think you put two and two together.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a kyber crystal, but apparently it was just discovered that if you were to look closely when she's looking in this, as you see this picture here, she's looking closely at the kyber crystal. It has words on it which are in, I forget what the name of the language, but Arabush. Yeah, thank you. That is right. Which is like, the weird characters that you see. Yeah, that you see just typically on anything Star Wars, but it translates to
one kyber to rule them all.
one run. It translates to trust in and then it stops. And as we know, the last thing her mother said to her was like trust in the Force. Lyra. Galen Urso, Lyra.
I wouldn't know where you're going.
Lyra
I almost said
Urso.
Solo.
Lyra Urso was a big, not follower, but she respected the Force. Yeah. If you've read Catalyst, so it's very interesting. The question is, why is it cut off? Like, was the kyber crystal bigger at one point? We don't know. I mean, I don't remember in Catalyst. I feel like there was mention of that she had her own kyber crystal, but I don't remember if there's anything written on it. Do you remember anything? Do you guys remember that? You read it, right?
I did. Yeah, I don't remember the details of that crystal per se.
Yeah.
But what I love about this story the most is that I think this is the first time in a Star Wars movie that we've seen Aurebesh written not on a computer.
Yeah,
like actually written, like engraved and stuff, which is neat. It's a neat little, like, that alphabet is their real alphabet, and it's there. They write with it when they pick up a pen and paper. If they have those, they're writing that. So that's cool to me. I like that.
And perhaps we'll get an answer when we read the young adult. Is that young adult the Jyn Erso?
Yeah, they're all young adults. Get some adult.
Perhaps she was hurting for money and she broke up the necklace somehow and sold it. It'd be sad, but then perhaps, you're like, why do I care about the Force? Look what it did to my parents. So maybe it's like, I just trust in this, but not trust in the Force. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But that's really cool.
I know one thing.
Yeah.
Rebellions were built on hope.
Oh, I forgot. This is where I read stuff. So as I mentioned prior, there was a lot of Easter eggs in Thrawn's office. So I mentioned the picture from Ralph McQuarrie, the Rook, and the ship from being Expanded Universe. Just really cool stuff. I believe there was I don't understand, it was like a bust or an actual head of like one of the aliens that like Elo Asti is from Force Awakens, just in there. Then you get to see that cool. What was it? The Ark of the Covenant from Raiders was in there.
Really?
That's in his
something.
I gotta go back and watch this episode.
Something along those lines is what it said, and it was in. They showed a picture, but I couldn't understand it, so I definitely want to rewatch it. And then of course we saw the Calicari. I'm totally butchering that, from Hera's household. From Cham's, it's there. So the Syndulla artifact or what have you. And there was a shock trooper, a clone trooper helmet that people will assume was Gree. Clone Gree, which Yoda takes out in
clone helmet.
Attack of the. I know, the green one, right?
Yeah.
I think that was it. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in that scene. So go watch Through Empire's Eyes or through Agent's Eyes or something like that. So Imperial.
Rebels is a great show for all these.
Rebels is a great show.
It's a fun show. It does have its lulls. It does hit lulls.
And they're not terrible. They're just like,
no.
Get back to the fulcrum.
It's also on Disney XD, and it's mostly a kid's show.
Yes.
We have to remember that. It's not a Netflix adult show or one of those. It's mostly for kids, so we can let it be. Anyway, Brock, this is your favorite story of the week.
OMAR coming. Oh, this week announced Michael K.
Yep, you got it. Keep going.
Johnson?
You're almost there.
No. Williams, thank you. I was like, Michael B. Jordan is in talks to be in the Han Solo film, which that's awesome. This guy's a really good actor. If you've seen The Wire, have you seen it?
I'm dying to see The Wire.
You've never seen The Wire?
I've never seen The Wire. Like,
oh my god!
I'm so
hashtag white people problems. Oh,
I'm so driven to see The Wire, and I haven't yet.
Oh, he's a really great character.
He's intense on Boardwalk Empire, though.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't watched.
He's
Boardwalk
intense
Empire.
in everything he does.
Yeah.
He's great. This cast is shaping up
to
be the best cast of any Han Solo movie we've ever had.
Like if I don't want to say that if they got him and Tandy Newton on this, it would be a home run. I mean, I think the cast already is pretty solid. I mean, it should be a fun movie, but yeah, that's cool. Nothing is confirmed. Nobody knows who he's gonna be. Who knows? But he'd be awesome. And of course, the internet's like, oh, he's Snoke because he actually has the scar across his face from he has a real scar.
The internet's awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone is Snoke.
Everyone is snoking.
I'm under the impression that Snoke is going to be a brand new character that we have not met in any future films, but he will be introduced in the Han Solo spin-off movie, a Han Solo story starring Han Solo featuring Chewbacca, and it will be Chewbacca's son Waru as Snoke.
He'll be like
Trevor,
the butler from Palpatine's mansion on Naboo or something like that. Like, this is Trevor. He does the gardens in the springtime. Something stupid like that. Just as a big FU to the fans. It's nothing. I don't know.
I think Snoke is gonna be brand new though, but it's gonna be awesome when we find out what he is.
Oh, for sure.
If he was not awesome, they wouldn't have those posters of your Snoke theory sucks. Is what I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, right.
That's why I think it's gonna be awesome.
I think that the reveal of who he is gonna be good, but the awesome reveal is gonna be when we finally see him in the flesh. I think they're gonna make that a big thing.
I hope every actor in that scene just turns and looks through the fourth wall at us and like, you're welcome.
Hey, we got Samuel L. Jackson back.
And then Snoke's in the background, he just drops the mic.
Series over. All right, let's move on to the only person who's going to talk in this section is Andrew Fantasia.
Yay!
Books and or comics.
Books and comics.
This is the fun part of the show. We talk about books and comics that we've read. They could be new canon, they could be legends, they could be whatever, but they definitely are all Star Wars.
When we have nothing to review, we should just read our fan fiction.
We
don't have fan. Well, no, that's true.
I wrote that one bounty hunter.
I'm gonna write about Trevor, the butler from Naboo.
The
butler.
Trevor P. Snoke.
Trevor P. Snoke.
Are we shooting our load too early if I reveal the thing that the thing I wrote that I told you that I want to
mention it.
After I saw Force Awakens, I got emotions and bored and emotions. So what I did was I sat down and I wrote my version of what I wish the Phantom Menace had been, and it's a finished script.
Oh, yeah.
So I told these guys, I was like, one day we'll read that script as a
radio play.
As a radio thing on this.
Stop everything. Let's do that right now.
We will be doing it.
One day that's gonna happen. It's gonna be great.
We're gonna need
how many characters is it?
A lot.
It's everybody who's in the original plus like 5 new characters that I threw in there.
I want to be Watto and Maul.
How many people would we need to be reading? Like some people could be multiple characters.
Yeah, I think multiples the best way to go.
I want to be.
We need a little logistics
Watto,
of how
Maul,
to
and
get this to
Kister.
happen.
Kister's not in there.
Okay, well we're rewriting it with Kister.
Okay, dude.
Can I be Greedo? Is Greedo in there?
No.
Greedo, stop. I actually did read your script, but like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while back. Like I wrote it back like right after I saw Force Awakens.
Yeah, so we will definitely be doing that radio play.
Yeah.
Anyway, Andrew, you have a book.
Radio
Brock, do you have Anything to talk about?
I don't have any books because I just got comics today and I missed last week. But next week I will have a full review of Dr. Aphra, the full first story arc, because issue 5 came out this week, and usually the story arcs end at 5 issues or what have you. So yeah.
Oh, it's only at 5, so the trade's not out yet for that.
No, I'm assuming that it will end. I could be totally wrong, and they could have moved to other things, but usually that's what happens, at least in the first 5 issues.
Right.
Andrew?
The one I'm bringing to the table is it's older. It's like a year old, maybe less, but it's amazing. You need to get it. It is the Complete Locations. Star Wars Complete Locations. It's one of those beautiful hardcover. I wish I brought it with me. Those hardcover, just like beautifully illustrated books. And basically, if you are like me and you are A, handsome, and B, a canon junkie, you need this book in your life. Everything, every little canon detail that's never going to be in a movie, never going to be in anything, it's in this book. If you want to know what's in the top drawer of the little shelf in Yoda's house, this book tells you what's in that drawer. It's insane. Everything is in there.
You brought this the day we did the trivia contest, which somebody just commented that you got the harder questions.
Oh, thank you.
And I say no. I say you screwed up. But anyway, you brought that day, and there's little things written in this book, like little tidbits of information that are kind of cool.
Yeah, there's one thing that's kind of retconning. I don't want to spoil it. Get the book and find out, but you'll know what I'm talking about. It involves C-3PO.
That is the best retconning ever. The best. THEBEST best. When he showed me, I was like,
yeah. The reason I brought the book to that contest was to show them that specific thing.
Actually, yeah, it was. You had a bookmark in that page. It's awesome.
I'm still trying to spell what you just said.
He spelled Snoke is me. And the book has like one of those things that you fold out. It's like a big, like a Playboy centerfold, but less sexy. Actually, more sexy because it's the Bunta Pod Race track.
Oh my god!
It shows you all the where things of note happened, who crashed where, what lap they finished in. Like,
wow!
Every detail, like everybody's flag. Get this book. Get Complete Locations. You will not be sorry.
I love
Buy it.
podcasting.
Buy it now.
I love pod racing.
1,
said podcasting.
2, buy.
All right. Let's wrap up the show with our top 5. Anyway, get
Top
that book.
5 standing by.
Now
Today's
this
top
is
5.
podcasting.
That's actually a real podcast. That's actually a real Star Wars.
That's a real thing?
It's a real Star Wars
Oh my
podcast. I'm
God.
sure a lot of our viewers are familiar with it. It's actually a very good one. Check it out if you haven't. I like to promote other people's podcasts. Anyway, Andrew, what's today's top 5?
Today's top 5 is top 5 worst Star Wars characters.
This is gonna destroy our relationship with each other.
No, mine's pretty good. Mine's pretty.
We're
Don't
gonna
touch me.
lose subs. I do not like to be touched.
I just want to say right now, if anybody has Watto or Jar Jar Binks on their list, they will never be back on this podcast, and that includes Brock, whose name is right there on the logo.
Those are your top 2.
Those are my top
try
2
to hide.
favorite.
Well, like they're definitely not on my list.
Well, I know, Andrew. And they're like 1 and 2 on Andrew's. Andrew's like, I hate Jar Jar and Watto.
So many people are gonna be mad. Like so many, like Cheetos, Winter Star, Master Bender for sure is gonna be mad. Jin or so, Rebel Jin,
Rogue Jin?
Rogue Jin. Ah!
All right, this you're encompassing all of canon.
Yeah.
In your lists.
Legends too.
Oh, okay, great.
I've gone with
Okay,
Legends because
great.
I don't hate anyone in canon. All right, Andrew, go first,
Okay.
please. Enlighten us on who you don't like in Star Wars.
Yeah, how
What a
dare you.
blasphemous list this is.
For a couple of mine, I've amalgamated some people into groups. And,
What?
And my number 5 is one. Of them.
You're full Brocky on this one.
Full Brocken. My number 5 worst characters is Bravo Squadron from The Phantom Menace. And here's why. It's very simple. In A New Hope, we don't meet any of Red Squadron until the very end, and then whoosh, we're off. We're fighting the Death Star. We don't
Right.
really get to know anybody. We don't get to know Biggs that well, or Wedge, or Porkins. But as soon as we're up there, we are invested. We are 100. Every time somebody
Right.
gets blown up, we're like,
Right.
oh no, you. With Bravo Squadron, we met Rick a little bit earlier. He was with us, piloting around. So we met one guy, but I did not give a damn about any of
good
those
point.
people. They're flying around, they're doing whatever, and what's that? It's blowing up from the inside. We didn't hit it. Like I don't care. I don't care who any of you are. One of them got shot. I'm like, that's nice. I was not invested in those people.
What's Rick's last name?
Olier.
Springfield.
That's my number 5.
Is he really?
That's Coruscant. The whole planet is one giant city. That's Tatooine. The whole planet's desert. That's space. It's made up of stars.
That's the Ewok Village, $1.99 at Toys R Us.
He just points things out. But I still love him.
Mm-hmm.
What was your choice? Same thing?
Goliath.
Goliath.
Okay, well, here we go.
It's not the same. It's one of the because he points things out.
Anything I say...
Canon will be used against you in a court of law.
Yes, exactly. But this is more out of duress of having to answer this question. Number 5, Lando Calrissian.
Wow.
Because...
I don't even want to hear this.
I can hear it better now. What's going on?
Specifically because, like, really, when you think about it, he's not really fleshed out. You know what I mean? He's smooth. And he's a character. He's smooth. And maybe we'll get more in the Han Solo movie.
I can't wait to.
But you know what I mean?
I'm going to comment on this.
Great. I don't know.
He's going to troll you.
My next one is Luke Skywalker. No. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like, we get a cool introduction to him. Cool. Like, that's awesome. He's smooth, and he's kind of a villain. But then, I saved you, blah, blah, blah. And then and obviously he does, I know, he blew up the Death Star. I get it.
He says yeehaw.
But, like, you could say Han Solo could have done the exact same thing.
And you could say Dash Randor and Han Solo. But then
exactly. But, so, it's like, besides, like, they must have heard about my maneuver in the Battle of Tanab. I'm like, I want to know more about that. Like, that's the most, I think, interesting thing about him.
To interject. If Han Solo does well, are we going to get a Battle of Tanab movie?
Oh, that would be sweet.
With Donald Glover.
See, I love Lando Calrissian. When I get a dog, I'm naming him Lando. Like, we've made this life pact that any animals that James or I own will be Star Wars themed. We won't do it to our children, but...
My wife is very allergic to cats. Erin's very allergic to cats, and I want to get a cat so I can name him Kit Fisto. That's all I want.
So, Lando Calrissian... Comment away, subs.
I'm commenting. I'm gonna put this live. I'm gonna comment before it even goes live.
I told you this list is gonna be beautiful.
My number 4 is Jackson. Basically, he's Bucky O'Hare. He was in a Han Solo comic or something like that. Yeah. Oh, you can say whatever you want, but he exists, and I don't dislike anyone. But he's Bucky O'Hare. He looks like Bucky O'Are. One of them copied the other one.
He's green too, right?
He's green and wears red, and he's Bucky O'Hare. Captain Bucky O'Hare.
They had a variant cover for the first issue of Star Wars where it's all the. Do you see that? He's like
that's where I first found out. Anyway, so that's my number 4. I'm cheating, and I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
Brock, number 4.
Number 4, Count Dooku.
Wow.
You're really
same premise. Yes, I know. Yes, they do things, and they're vital to the story.
No.
But I'm not interested in Count Dooku. If you ask me what character I do not care about, Count Dooku.
Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I love Count Dooku, but I really feel like you're gonna get love now. People are gonna be like, "How could you?" Oh, gotcha.
He has the best reaction in all 7, 8 movies. When Jango Fett gets his head chopped off, Count Dooku just goes like.
It's like I mean, the Count Dooku we get in Catalyst is more interesting to me than the entire prequels, and he's barely in it.
He's scary in Clone Wars. He's like a legit like.
Oh, sorry, in Clone Wars the show.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I will give that. Yeah, I guess you get more. But again, I guess I focused. I know I should have probably listened to the rules, but
no,
I focus more to the movies, right?
Yeah. I love your list right now. This is great.
And it's Christopher Lee. You're like, that guy, I mean, we could really go back and forth on his acting prowess later in his life. That's kind of weird for me to say, but you know what I mean? Like, he's very well known, but like, again, like, even in the Lord of the Rings, you're kind of like, here I am. They're like, okay, then do something. But you know what I mean. Anyways, Count Dooku, suck it.
Andrew, if you say Darth Vader, I am going to punch you.
But you can say Anakin Skywalker.
No, my number 4 is the least effective torture octopus in the whole wide world.
Oh! Is this why you wanted to do this list?
That's a good one.
Bo Gullet from Rogue One. Because, like, what is the deal with Bo Gullet? I don't even know if I'm saying its name right because it's Saw Gerrera is not the most easy person to understand. But basically, he's this little Cthulhu thing, and Saw tells Bodhi, like, it is going to read your mind.
Oh my god, that's a pretty good one.
Thank you. And it puts his tentacles on Bodhi's thing, and basically Saw tells him it's going to tell me if you're lying. It's like a lie detector puss. and it's also going to make you go crazy. But neither of those things really pan out, because the next time we see Bodhi Rook, we know he's telling the truth. Now, we know he was never lying.
Yeah.
So, and next time we see him, he's still in a prison cell. So clearly the octopus didn't tell him shit.
I really feel like they could have cut that out, except that when he's in that prison cell, he's like, like, how do we explain that? Like that, yeah.
Yeah, that feels like a deleted scene. And the funny thing is, in the Rogue One visual dictionary, there's no bull gullet at all. I was specifically looking for it because I'm like, how the hell do you spell this word?
That's probably a reshoot.
You're probably right.
They were like, how do we get to here to there? Tentacles.
They should have just changed the line to like it makes you go crazy to like it is very painful. Like,
Yeah.
and then you're like, okay, everything makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
and he could have said that in post too, been like, off camera, your character's we're changing the name. Because, Bodhi doesn't go crazy. Like, he goes, and then he's like, I'm fine, let's go.
Yeah.
Save the rebellion. All right, Brock, number 3.
Wait, what was your number 4?
The green
Jackson.
hair.
Oh, Jackson.
I
right,
cheated.
sorry.
I cheated on my number 4.
Number 3. Yeah. Well, in the same vein, Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, boy.
Because even though we've seen him in Catalyst.
He's trying to prove
He's up there. No, right there.
He's right here in the box.
We see him in Catalyst. We see him in Rebels. We see him in Rogue One. And then we're going to get this young adult book, which I will read, and hopefully it'll make him a little bit better. I like the idea. I like that, like, the Rebel Alliance at some point has extremist pockets of, what is it when, like, sleeper cells? No, not really sleeper cells, but, like, cells of this organization. He's more of a terrorist than he is a rebel or a resistant fighter. But again, like, I feel like you have this character and he's like, oh, he's known across the galaxy, but he just doesn't impress me. I enjoy what they've been adding, but like, maybe I have a thing against Forrest Whitaker. I don't know. It's just sort of like,
yeah, because you hated every other movie he's ever been in. Probably.
But like, like you said, it's like half the time you can't understand what he's saying, and I get it. Like, you can argue that, well, his character, he's constantly, like, his body is, like, breaking down. He's literally, like, 2/3 a man or whatever, right? Like, he's, like, he can't even breathe properly anymore. Totally understandable. But it's just, like, he's interesting, but I don't feel like, oh, he died. Okay. I wasn't shook by it. I ain't shook.
Andrew?
My number 3 is another amalgamation of 2 people this time. This is going to be weird. So
Han Skywalker.
It's 2 Nemoidians. One of them from episode 1, one of them from episode 3. And it's the one in episode 1 who says, "Sir, they've gone up the ventilation shaft." And the one in episode 3 who's flying Grievous's ship and says, "Magnetize, magnetize." And the reason I don't like them...
How do you not like the ventilation shaft?
Because their voices bother me so much. They are the fakest...
Because they're like talking through like a radio or something. Or they got the thing, or their voices sounded like it's like a weird like synthesizer.
I don't like this top 5.
This going in your top 5.
These are my top 5 favorite. You guys have just listed all my favorite stuff. I'm just joking.
The guy flying Grievous's ship, that sounds like they just grabbed any person off the street and said, "Hey, can you do an old man voice?" And he's like, "Yeah, magnetize." Perfect. ILM, take this, go.
Magnetize.
And the female Nemoidian from episode 1 with the stuff on her face, I feel like that was a woman who was on set doing another job. Like, she was like constructing or building the set or property master or wardrobe or something. And George was just like, "Hey, we don't have an extra. Can I get you to play this Nemoidian?" She's like, "Are you sure? I don't really act, and I'm sure you could find an extra." No, trust me. Just say this. "They've gone up the ventilation shaft." Perfect. Cut. Print.
She says a little bit more anxious than that.
Maybe
She
you're right.
really says shaft very well.
Shaft.
They've gone up the ventilation shaft.
She's just talking about the shaft, James. Shut your mouth.
That's
Who's
all those
your number 3?
Nemoidians are looking for. My number
Can't
3.
take it.
My number 3 is, I gotta read this, is Fodesinbede Anodu.
Oh.
Fodesinbede Anodu. There's young Skywalker going around the track. The commentator for the pod racing.
I thought you loved them.
I do, but he's terrible.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, I love the pod racing. I love the prequels. I don't really care.
Funny enough, that's my number 2.
So
No slam against Greg Proops.
No, but it didn't
But
fit.
yeah, it's a weird choice.
Is that really your number 2?
Yeah, it actually was. I thought it up just now, but like, yeah. It was.
No, but it's like, and if you take that out of the pod racing, I guarantee you more people appreciate the pod racing scene.
Yes, I agree. Or at least take out the English-speaking head.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, you take that whole that piece of it, you take that out, you remove it. I think people do appreciate it a lot more. That's what I think. And I'm seriously, and everyone knows that how I feel about Phantom Menace. It's probably my number one favorite Star Wars movie of the prequels of number one. I like them all equally. Let's not. But anyway, I love it, and it's hard for me to say it.
It's so funny because whenever I think of you two, I think of Photo.
Yeah,
so does Rogue Jim. We got to put that picture up. Andrew. Oh wait. We're on number 2 now. So my number 2, I'll just keep going. Andrew, you can keep your mouth shut for now. I'm going with the Yaddle.
Yeah. Okay.
Why? Well, you know what happened?
We don't know anything about her.
This is what happened.
We do, but we don't.
This is what happened. We have the new Yoda puppet. What the hell is that? I don't know. Put it on the chair. We'll call her Yaddle. And then they're like, here's the new puppet. He's like, that is still bad, but we'll go with it because we're running out of time.
And like, you can't tell us what kind of alien they are. Like, if it's Yoda by himself, okay, whatever.
Yeah, now you've added a second one who's a female.
What if, say Yoda was something, species that's just normal or that we've met before, but then something happened to him, becomes a green little gremlin.
Gremlins.
What if it's similar to what's happened to Snoke?
Oh.
Boom. Anyways.
There's a title for this week's episode.
Sit on that.
Snoke and Yoda.
We'll maybe talk about it next week.
Andrew, number dos. That's Spanish for 2.
Whose are you thinking it's going to be?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think
that's fair.
It's not. It's not fair. It's not fair.
It's a little fair. Now, I want to, preface this. I don't hate anybody on this list. Not even my number one. Not even my number one. Yeah, nobody on this list is like, I hate you. Number one drives the most anger out of me.
Yeah.
But no, Jar Jar is. It's not so much himself that makes him my least favorite character. It's that George Lucas thought he was necessary as he was. He thought, I need to appeal to very small babies because this is a children's movie. When it
was because that's what sells toys.
Right, but what I feel like he forgot somehow is that A New Hope had nobody like him in it, and it was adored by children.
Right.
Absolutely adored by children. And it sold a hell of a lot of toys.
Yeah.
Ewoks sold more toys.
That's very true. But
how can you put Jar Jar after his story?
He's going to make the galaxy smile, you guys.
He's going to make him smile, and he made me smile, but he's got to make this list. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You made the statement. Now you got to live with it. That's fine. That's fine.
Well, I want to know.
This is canon now.
I don't know who you guys are. I'll go first on my number 1. Chancellor Valorum. What a piece of dirt. Seriously. Just let everyone walk all over you. How about you do your job and then all of a sudden the Empire doesn't exist, Chancellor Valorum.
It's because he's actually Zod and he can't let people know.
He's also the
It is actually Zod.
He's in a lot of things and he was, you know what? No. I had a Pepsi can with this mug on it.
Oh.
And he's in one shot. And I was just like, what? You suck, Chancellor Valorum. And you know what? I have nothing against you, but you did not do your job as Chancellor Valorum. Brock? Andrew, number 1?
Go ahead. No, you go first.
Oh, you go first?
Mine's going to be a bomb.
Okay.
Jackson.
Am
I going to be mad? Am I going to be mad?
No, you know what? You're not.
You're going to be mad at me.
Is
it Watto?
No.
You son of a...
The reason why Jar Jar is number 2 is because, as crazy as he was, Jar Jar is a character that you could have taken him out of the movies he was in and still pretty much reach the same conclusion. Yes, he gives the Emperor his powers, which is a big, it's a big deal.
Right.
But those movies minus Jar Jar could still have worked.
But who would have had the booba?
Somebody, he no have a no booma. Somebody had to give him a booma. But when you have a character who is crucial to your story, and they don't work, then we have a very big effing problem.
Right.
And I'm so glad that so far, I don't know, Brock, I don't know what your bomb is, but I'm so glad that so far none of you have mentioned this person on your list, because that further proves my point that this person left so little impact when they should have left so much more. And that's why my number 1 worst character in Star Wars has to be Padme Amidala.
Oh! Yeah? Okay. Okay.
Guys,
Okay.
Padme sucks.
Yeah, I
Padme
can see that.
Freaking
All our
sucks.
female listeners just left. but
she births the twins.
yeah, but like
go you, Padme. She birthed the twins. Here, Padme.
I can get behind that.
In episode 2, we never see Anakin fall in love with Padme. Episode 2 starts with him already in love with Padme.
Right.
And the reason why we don't see him fall in love with her is because there's nothing to fall in love with. She is a paper doll who just sits around, gets rescued, and says a few things about the Senate. And that's it. What does he see in her? There is nothing there. That's why, the script has to start with him being like, I'd much rather dream about Padme. Because she literally gives him nothing to make him want to love her. So we're going to play a little game. Sorry, before you get to number 1, we're going to play a quick little game. We're going to take a scene that Padme was in, a pretty important scene from episode 2, and we are going to replace her with the other 3 lead females from the film so far. We're going to replace her with Leia, with Jyn Erso, and with Rey, and we're going to see what they all do. And the scene I'm talking about is when she's in bed, and the bugs come in from the assassin droid, and Anakin comes in and kills the bugs, and then the chase happens. If that was Rey in that bed, the bugs would have come on the bed, Anakin would have come in and swung the saber, and the bugs would be dead, and she would have woken up and been like, oh my god, what's going on? Who's trying to kill me? All this chaos would have happened. Obi-Wan would have jumped out the window, Anakin would have raced after him, and Rey would have gotten her ass out of the bed, picked up her staff, and jumped in the speeder with Anakin, and he'd be like, you shouldn't be here, milady, and she'd be like, don't tell me where I shouldn't be. That guy said, there's bugs in my bed. I want to know what's going on. We've got to help Obi-Wan. Let's go. And they would go out, and she would join the chase. If it was Jyn Erso in that bed, Jyn Erso, I feel like she's seen some Jyn Erso's seen some shit. She's been through a lot. She would have been sleeping with a gun. She would have heard the droid and just been like, choo, choo, and gone back to sleep. Jyn Erso, you can't sneak up on her. And Leia would have been the one out that damn window before Obi-Wan even got a chance.
Yeah, but your argument doesn't make sense, though, because this is also a different time period, and she was a queen and a senator. She wouldn't be, that's not who she was, though. Whereas Leia grew up in a hardened time, so she needed that. Jyn Erso the same. Like, she's just a senator. Like you take the queen now and you put her in a bed. She's like the real queen I'm talking about. She wouldn't wake up and do anything. She'd be like, what the? And then the Jedi would have to save her.
But Padme,
or one of those the guards with the hats. They'd have to save her.
Yeah, but Padme did lead her army, a small army, back to Naboo to take back her throne. She is the most active queen Naboo has ever had. Yeah. And how did she react when those droids came up in her bed? And then the Jedi run out and the lady comes in. Milady, are you all right? Is this about the Senate?
It's Rose Byrne that comes in. It's Dorme.
So,
sorry, Padme, but I don't miss you.
Well, Andrew, I can one-up you. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I think he's going to say Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No.
I think there's a Darth coming.
Emperor Palpatine.
I knew it!
This list is weird, man.
Specifically,
I had Yaddle and Jackson.
Specifically,
you guys are like real characters.
To get the sense of what Sheev Palpatine was accomplishing, you need to make 3 other movies to explain it. And like we all know, it almost seemed like the character was an afterthought for the original series.
Because he is. It's they mention him, but it's just an empire, and then because the prequels kind of
he's just a creepy guy that sits in a chair.
That's a good villain.
And don't get me wrong, Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie, and he's one of the reasons. This is great. But it's just like, I mean, we talk about it extensively, and I love the idea of like the Sith and there can only be 2 and blah 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 blah. But like, and his plan is really cool. It is cool that like because of him to this and that, but it's great. But what if we had never gotten a prequel? Like, I mean,
well, we didn't need.
Let's not think about that kind of world. But like,
well, you don't need it though. He's the emperor. And he's an evil emperor.
He's just evil. But then like it's all this like he's this and that and blah blah blah. Like we want to make Snoke the emperor. Why? Like make Snoke just something else.
This is the problem. This is what you're saying though with Snoke. The problem with Snoke now is the Emperor is this, and the Emperor was so bad. So now Snoke has to be somewhere to not ruin Palpatine, but also stand on his own and be acceptable and be a threat. it's really a fine line.
I mean, the fact that he was able to take over the Senate and create the Empire, and then everyone's like, yeah, the Emperor. Like, it's everyone. You see the Empire. It's battleships that all look the same. The uniformed officers, you know, they look like an army and all that. And then there's just this dude in a black cloak and a weird stick. He's in charge. I guess you could also say he's kind of like a pope. He's an old dude in a weird costume that everybody listens to. That's not a slam against religion. I'm just saying. It's just I'm trying to compare it to something.
He also has a dark side.
Yeah, but then like it's never like the galaxy isn't in fear of his force powers. You know what I mean?
No,
or his control of the force.
Senate. I don't know what. Yeah.
I mean, they dislike him obviously for obvious reasons of what it does. But it's sort of like, I don't know. It's I had to think something up. And I've said it before, it's sort of like he's not really that important to the original series. He is and he isn't. Like, it's just like, it's great when he's like, oh, I'm quite certain. I know that I'm totally butchering this, like the shield generator will be quite operational when your friends arrive, and I'm doing a Bane voice. Why would I? Anyways, so yeah, worst character. You needed 3 other movies to put him in, and Vader is enough. Vader makes more sense. Vader looks like a stormtrooper, so it's like, oh, that's why we have stormtroopers, because the guy in charge looks like a robot.
I feel you.
So that's our top 5, guys.
Thank you for listening to us and unsubscribing to us.
Who are your least favorite Star Wars characters, guys? Let us know. We would like to know. Thanks as always for watching. If you have a suggestion for top 5, please let us know. Next week, it will be one selected by one of you. Yeah, one of them suggested. A few weeks ago, we got the suggestion, and Brock's going to love it. Top 5 Count Dooku and Emperor Palpatine moments. Anyway, I'm James. This is Brock, and this is Andrew. And you can check out our Twitters below. Tweet us #RebelScum podcast, and we'll mention you on the show.
Yeah,
we'll answer your tweet the best that we can. Thanks, guys. This was fun as usual.
Yeah,
32 weeks we've been doing this.
Wow,
that is a long.
That's how many years I've been alive, you guys.
Andrew was on our 3rd show.
Yeah.
Where did we talk about, was that our prequel show or was that a different one? We did a whole show on the prequels. It was awesome. It's on SoundCloud. Check that out.
The 3rd show, I remember we talked about the Obi-Wan movie.
Okay, so it was not that. We did do a prequel. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun.
This is the first time I heard that Palpatine's name is Sheev.
Sheev. Oh, yeah. That was the name of the episode. Anyway, guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And may the force of others be with you.
You do it. Always. So good.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.